May be the right intention, but not the right execution. It's important to spread the real facts and what is happening to the public of Russia, who is being fed lies and propaganda, but this definitely was not the right execution.
Ding dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Jobless Coder, and today I'm giving a public service announcement to anyone out there who is a Unity game developer. If your desktop looks anything like mine, which looks like this, you may not have even noticed until now that there is a file on your desktop named this. The file, it reads in capital letters, "With love from America." And if you're anything like me, you immediately started freaking out, wondering where this file came from. I know I sure didn't put it there. If you open the file, you'll find that the text contents are blank. There's no information inside. Don't freak out, it's not malware. It is, in fact, a feature, if you can call it that, of Unity's latest update. Now, Unity on March 16th issued a patch fix that removed this because they had previously updated the Unity Hub to include a third-party tool called Peace Not War. This is an official NPM, being Node Package Manager tool, that installs a third-party tool on your computer that creates this blank, empty text document on your desktop for the purposes of protesting the war, I suppose. I get it. I understand the sentiment completely. You know, war is bad, and Russia is in the wrong by invading Ukraine. But this is not it. This is not how you go about getting the message out there. There are many other non-invasive ways that you can protest this. I don't need to be having files appearing on my desktop giving me a heart attack thinking my computer's been hacked, especially since there's no information in the document. If there was some text in there or there was a link to something, then maybe it would be better. But when it's just a random message that actually has nothing to do with the war, it just says "with love from America," I started freaking out thinking my entire system's been hacked and who put this file there. If you read the issue reports on the GitHub page,
may be the right intention, but not the right execution. It's important to spread the real facts and what is happening to the public of Russia, who is being fed lies and propaganda, but this definitely was not the right execution. This isn't peace, this is actually cyber warfare. So you might want to rename the project. We all want to help Ukraine, but this is absolutely the worst way to do it. Bro, this isn't activism. One thing is putting a message on your package or replace it with text regarding a current political situation, but you're just injecting malware into a commonly used package to blow up computers from people with IPs from a country. How can you call yourself a developer? Writing literal malware for someone that has no power speaking is a way to protest? Think. This might be the end of open source as we know it. Maybe people shouldn't include libraries from random authors in their projects. Just saying. But then how do I virtue signal for internet points? With love from all mature developers. Man gets cancelled on GitHub. This guy has a Twitter account, and instead of putting messages of support, he decides to disturb everyone with a sketchy and obscure file on your desktop.
So as you can see, many people are not very impressed or happy that this has happened. This is a major violation of privacy, I believe, and I filed an official complaint with NPM to remove this from their servers. Now what's the big deal, you might say? It's just an empty text file. It's no harm. There's no harm in adding additional third-party software to your computer. You know, if someone walked into your house, came into your house and walked around the kitchen and then left, and then you be like, okay, well, they didn't hurt you, they didn't touch you, they didn't cause any physical damage, they didn't take anything from your property, but you'd still be like, dude, what the hell? Like, don't come in my house uninvited. Let me explain something to you. Not all viruses are malware. Malware is a very specific type of virus that causes some kind of damage or harm to your computer. Either it destroys the files on your computer or it locks them with some encryption key, and then you have to pay money to the hackers to get it back. That's what's known as ransomware. Or they infiltrate your password and steal bank account information. That's malware. However, viruses are any form of third-party software that you did not agree to being installed on your machine that usually operate in the background and do things that you are not aware of. When I was in high school, Me and my friends built viruses. We actually made one virus in particular that opened the CD drive on the computers every 5 minutes, and we installed it on all of the machines in the computer lab as a practical joke, because the teacher didn't know why the computer disk drives kept opening. And then, of course, they brought in the security admin, and he went through and found it, and it was set up to automatically start when the computer turned on. And so I think I didn't write the software myself. I think my friend who wrote it might have been banned from the computer lab for a week or whatever. But that's, a practical joke. It's fairly harmless. It was a virus that he had installed on those computers. So not all viruses cause damage to your machine, but they are, however, invasive. This particular node package, which is called Peace Not War, is this new form of software that's arising, virusware if you can call it that. It's called Protestware. So not malware, it's a virus, it's protestware. So the whole purpose is to infect your machine to spread some kind of politically charged message. Software is not supposed to be political. It's a tool that is used by software developers to create things. I'm a video game developer. I'm a professional game developer. I work all day and night on the computer. Many other people who use Unity as their primary form of developing video games work all day and night on the computer. We are on the internet. We have other tabs open with our Facebook and Twitter profiles. My entire feed is filled with news about the war in Russia. All day, all night, news about the war in Russia. We know what's happening. We're not living under a rock. Software developers know about the war in Russia. And I don't enjoy having political messages thrown into my software. I started noticing this last year, actually, for the first time. I had never seen this before. I was working on a website, oddly enough, for the same client I'm building video games for now, and I had to go download the Node Package Manager from their website. And at the very top of the screen, there's a big banner, a big message that says, "Do you support Black Lives Matter?" It's like, what does that have to do with my software tool? You get these messages, "Are you racist?" No, I'm not racist. And frankly, I don't even think I've ever met anyone who is. But why does this need to be having political rhetoric injected into my software packages? Like I said, software is not meant to be political. It's meant to be a tool to create things. And if Unity really wanted to do the whole virtue signal thing about the war, they could be like every other million and billion-dollar tech company and tint their profile picture blue and yellow to show their support. There are many other ways they could have gone about doing it. But this is not it. They could have put a banner at the top of the Unity Hub. Not that I agree with virtue signaling, not that I'm the biggest fan of it, but if you really wanted to, you could just put a banner at the top of the Unity Hub Manager that says, support the war against Russia.
This just in the time of filming and editing this video, Wikipedia has updated with a new article titled Peace Not War. This is about the malware, and it's got in brackets here, Protestware. And if you actually go to the page for Protestware, you can go to the version history and see that the first instance recorded of Protestware from March 19th. So this is a newly coined term. It states, Peace Not War was created by Brandon Miller on March 16, 2022. It was added to an update for the node IPC, a common JavaScript dependency. My apologies to the developers at Unity. I perhaps jumped the gun in assuming that they had included it as intended malware is part of the package. It says it's a common JavaScript dependency, so they were probably not even aware that it was a dependency. I suppose, in a roundabout way, that speaks volumes to the security team that Unity has. If they don't have a proper vetting process for the third-party tools and dependencies that they utilize before releasing it to the public. The article reads, Peace Not War is a Trojan horse which was using geolocation via IP address to target users based on their location and being aggressively destructive to systems located in Russia and Belarus. The payload creates a text file on the document of the affected machines. It says if the affected machine's IP is identified as belonging to the targeted countries, all the files on the system are overridden with heart emojis. So it's a good thing I wasn't using a VPN, Because if you were using a VPN and it detected that your address, your IP address, was wrongly attributed to one of the servers in Russia, your entire operating system would be overridden with apparently heart emojis. In March of 2022, the maintainer of the Node IPC package from the NPM package registry released an update containing the malicious code targeting systems in Russia and Belarus, and created a file named With Love from America on the desktop of affected machines, which contained an anti-war message. That's actually not true. The message is blank. There's nothing inside. The malware then erased all files on the system identified as belonging in Russia or Belarus. It also states Unity Hub 3.1 was also affected, but a patch was issued the same day as to the release. So again, my apologies for assuming that the developers of Unity had included this intentionally.
And in fact, they have done other ways of supporting the Ukrainians. One of which is a fundraiser event, which I was actually going to be making a video about this week, and probably it'll be pushed back to next week, assuming I can find the time. Unity right now is having a massive sale, and 100% of the proceeds for this sale from their Unity asset store is going to support the Ukrainian refugees. So far, they've raised $500,000 doing this, and I support it fully. I mean, I have no problem with that. That's a wonderful way to go about supporting the Ukrainians. And number one, it's non-invasive. Number two, you're giving money not only to the software that you're going to buy, but it goes directly to support Ukraine. And it's a really good deal, to be frank. I'm talking $1,600 worth of software. There's like 32 packages in here. If you total all of them up individually and bought them all individually, it would cost you $1,600. So it is an absolute killer deal, and I do want to make a video about it. And of course, 100% of the proceeds are going to Ukraine. That's cool. I like that. But this, why would you do this, Unity, for a $1 million tech company? Software, this is the type of behavior that I expect from prepubescent teenagers in high school. You know, I'm going to infect your machine with Protestware to spread political messages. Software is built on trust. You trust the developer of the software that you download not to add any third-party tools that you didn't agree to your thing. You know, as a video game developer, I could, if I really wanted to, infect or inject into my games that I release on Steam some form of virus. Now, of course, yes, there's various tools on the Steam services that are going to check for that. You've got things like the Norton antivirus that look for common forms of virus. But if a developer really and truthfully wanted to infect your machine with a virus through the video game that they're building, they absolutely could. They could find a way around these antivirus programs. They could find a way to infect your machine. Anytime you download software, you are putting your faith in the developer that they're not going to abuse the trust you've placed in them. Anytime I go on Facebook, I put my faith in Facebook that Facebook is not also installing malware in the background while I'm using it. But this opens up a whole can of worms that should have never been opened, where, yes, I understand, Peace Not War is a very harmless tool that does nothing but makes a text document on your computer. But it does go to show the ease that something like this can be abused. If a hacker really wanted to abuse a system like this, they absolutely could, to infect your machine with other things in the background that you are not aware about. That Unity prides itself on being one of the most popular, one of the widest used tools for game developers, especially in the indie community. If you download a game from Steam, chances are like a good 80% chance that game was made with Unity, because the entire indie community primarily uses Unity. But if they continue to go down this road of destroying their credibility and reputation, people will switch to other tools, and they will start to use other things instead to build the games. You know, Unity is getting increasingly political, and I can't help but wonder, will there ever come a point where I go to open my Unity project and I find that, oh, you're not allowed to use our services anymore because we've used some web crawler service to go through your social media, and we discovered that we don't like your political beliefs, and therefore we're going to ban you from using this service anymore. And then like that, overnight, I will lose access to all of the games and software that I am building. The game in particular that I'm working on right now has nothing to do with politics. It's non-political. It's a furry porn game. I don't need to have politics injected into my workday schedule, especially since I'm already obsessed enough as it is with political messaging. I am, at this point in time, just a few months away from enrolling in the Canadian Armed Forces, working as a software engineer. The specific title would be ATIS Tech. They deal mostly with radio communication and setting up internet routers. But I can't help but wonder if maybe I should change my intended career path into something more akin to cybersecurity. Just a thought. I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching this video, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.